that, and then in Outlands there was kind of a hint that maybe the Nether Drakes were related to Deathwing. Is that going to be clarified at all, I guess is my question.
Yes. I can't really talk too much about it, but I think you'll see something soon.
Something awesome.
Amazing, honestly. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Wow.
Hello. I have a goblin question. With Kazan now volcano to death, and the goblins having to integrate into Orgrimmar and all the capital cities, will they ever try to go back to the island, kind of like the trolls went to their islands and the gnomes to Nomergon? And if not, will we ever see Undermine in the game as an accessible area at all?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I think Kazan's, so when you play through the Goblin experience, it's a small segment of the actual whole of Kazan. So yeah, we totally want to go back to the Undermine and the rest of the islands and the islands in that area. It's just a matter of when. Can't tell you. One day.
Thank you.
Hi. I know that the Paladins got a lot of attention in the last expansion, and that the Silver Hand, the joining of the Silver Hand and the Argent Crusade was a big point. But I've also seen about the Eastern Plaguelands and Western Plaguelands, how they're being rebuilt. So I wanted to know if the Paladins were still going to play a big part. Maybe there was a dungeon or something. Is there a reputation to be gained?
So you see the Argent Crusade, and what they're doing right now is cleanup, right? There's remnants of the Scourge still floating around, or undead that aren't quite being kept in check. And the Plaguelands was kind of their base of operations. They're spreading out, and with the Cenarian Circle, cleansing the land. Will there be a dungeon that revolves around that? No, not necessarily. Nothing planned right now. I think the last expansion, I mean, we did a lot with the Crusade. And so, give them a little bit of time to breathe. We'll see them again.
In Cataclysm, or in Wrath of the Lich King, it seemed in endgame raiding content that you went from Ulduar, then you were fighting in a Colosseum, and then you were raiding Lich King. I was wondering, in Cataclysm, is there going to be more cohesion between the endgame raiding instances?
Yes. That's a trick question, isn't it? So it's interesting, actually. So Lich King's raiding, there actually was a story there, a common thread throughout all of those. Was it pulled off as masterfully as it should have been? No, I don't think so. Yeah, and we'll continue to improve our methods by which we convey that to you guys. So yeah, I definitely think that in this coming expansion we'll have more.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'd like to point out I really like the way you did Shadowmourne this time around, and it'd be nice to see that in the future as a quest-based kind of raid community build-up for your legendaries. My question relates to, I play on a role-playing server, and I'm concerned about priests and the nature of the cult of Shadow. There's some exposure to it, and there's a bit on the WoW Wiki article, but I'm not sure how the races outside of the Forsaken really fall into playing that particular character archetype. I really enjoy it as a mechanic standpoint, but there seems to be a severe disconnect from a lore standpoint.
Working on it.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my question is, what do you guys plan on doing with the Caligos regarding the Blue Dragon flight?
Something amazing.
It's so fucking boring, dude. Give it.
Go! Take it!
You think we should?
Yeah, sure.
Really?
Yeah. Do it. Do it.
Kalecgos will be the new blue aspect. And just in time.
I have a question for you regarding the storyline of Nirzul. Is he finished, or what's going on with him? And
Yeah.
what's going on with Bolvar?
Number 2, who?
Bolvar.
Bolvar.
Yeah.
You take this?
Yes. Yeah, Nirzul is done. He served us well in that capacity, but really the Lich King idea really is the ultimate expression, through, as Arthas or whatever. Nirzul's done. Relative to Bolvar, think about this, guys. It's kind of weird. There's where my instinct goes in terms of the storyline, and then there's kind of like, we're probably not going to build another Northrend expansion anytime soon, right? So, we're trying to push ideas in new and fresher directions. But it's kind of like one of those Outland things, right? As Cataclysm is kind of present day, how do we illustrate for you guys what's going on in Northrend, right? Like, so Bolvar's sacrifice is pretty bitchin'. And ultimately, for some length of time, he's going to be up there keeping a lid on the Scourge, with the Argent Crusade kind of playing good cop, and making sure that the undead are not, getting rowdy again. But Bolvar and the fact of him being this new kind of Lich King is definitely something, it's definitely fertile soil. But we are unlikely to chase big undead themes for the next little while, so it's kind of hard to say how that will play out.
About today, a lot of classic dungeon stuff, as well as a little bit of a preview of some things we're planning for our first major content patch, 4.1.
Is there any update about the Warcraft movie?
But first thing we wanted to get into is a little bit of a talk about some classic heroics. This is something that we've introduced for Cataclysm.
But you guys didn't. It went straight to video. You guys
and
didn't.
It's basically the concept
You
of
get the memo?
taking a dungeon
really
that
good.
we know
Keeper
players
Sutherland.
enjoy and love. It's something they've been playing at this
I
point
love
for
Keeper
almost
Sutherland.
6 years. And being
Worms,
able to
Michael.
turn it
You're
into
eating worms.